awkward. There we go. Okay, so I'm super excited you guys are here, and happy to share at least one way, right? On my team, I always talk about how I don't feel like what I do is the way, but I think it's a way, and I think that we're all looking for a way, aren't we? So my background just a little bit, and part of why this is something I'm passionate about and just wanted to share, in case it helps anybody, is that I have actually never punched a clock, with the exception of when I was a busser in a restaurant back in high school. So I've never punched a clock in my adult life in terms of my career. I've always had to manage my time. And so I used to do college ministry with InterVarsity. If you're familiar with InterVarsity, spent almost 20 years with InterVarsity in various roles. And so I had a really big job, a job I cared about, a mission that was important to me, and no one telling me really what to do. And so part of what I'm sharing to you today really was birthed through survival in those years, because I remember my first couple of years, I was completely fried and burnt out, because the way that I lived my life is I would get up every morning, I would look at my to-do list, and I would do it. And it seemed like that was the right thing to do, except for that I was really fried and exhausted and didn't feel successful. And I had a conversation with my supervisor at the end of the year, and he's like, actually, I think you're doing an amazing job. And I'm like, I don't even know. So he really helped me a lot with what I'm going to share with you here. And what I will say too is that I've learned everybody's really, really different. And that, so I think part of finding a way forward with your systems and your planning is it's very personal. So I do not think that what I'm going to share today is plug and play. And I also, and I shared this in the comments in the group, I want to offer this as like, let's have a conversation. So I'll start by just sort of throwing out there what I do. And there may be thoughts that you all have about like, hey, what about this? Or this would maybe streamline it better, or whatever it may be, because I'm all about helping my team. I think hi Jenny, what I'm sharing today is really what I've done as a senior leader to sort of make my life a little bit sane. But I think there's ways we can simplify it to help our team members too, because part of the reality is that we are all entrepreneurs. And when we sign up as a consultant, boom, we're a business owner, and we have to manage things. And that's a skill set that a lot of us, I don't know if we learn, it's hard to learn, or that's not hard to learn. It's just that it can be taught more proactively to hopefully help people be more successful more quickly. I don't know if that makes sense. So let me go ahead and share my screen here. Hello, all the browsers are open. So I wanted to start with this. It's not super fancy PowerPoint here, but I wanted to start with this quote right here. So Stephen Covey says, the key is not to prioritize what is on your schedule, but to schedule your priorities. So I love that. And I really am a fan of his book too, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So if you're looking for a good leadership read, have any of you read that book? Yeah? No? Yes, Kathleen's read it. Very helpful for thinking about this, because in my view, we're not just trying to balance stuff. We're trying to live the life that is ours to live. And so that's really important. Okay, so let me just quickly, hopefully, I don't think it'll take me more than maybe 15 minutes to walk through at least the big picture of what I do, and then we'll unmute and sort of have more conversation here. But I'll show you kind of what my process is. I love, and I work through a process like this every July and then every January. I usually come back from conference and do this. And I don't plan before conference because there's new things that always come at us and such, right? So what I usually do, well, I mean, I'll back up to this here real quick. I really like the Passion Planner, and maybe some of you have heard of it, and I don't use it religiously, but I just wanted to sort of back up and say that part of the sort of scheduling your priorities is being in touch with who you are and what you're really passionate about, what you want to do in the world. And so if you have never been to the website, it's passionplanner.com, but they have some free downloads. You can actually download all the stuff for free. But I would encourage you to peek at the Passion Roadmap, and this is a way for you to think really big and broadly. And it starts with, if you could be anything, do anything, have anything, what would it be? And so you make your wish list and you think about all these different time categories. So that's kind of like macro, right? Is to start with that. I am assuming all of us, Norwex plays into that. And so then what they do is they have you think of what are your passions, and then you choose one of them that's a game changer, and then you kind of brain dump around that. So for me, I have already decided that Norwex is kind of the context. And so my brain, I've kind of created this framework for myself here. Can you all see that? So what I have here is my Norwex goal. So I choose a goal that is what I think is my game changer goal. So something that's really going to move me forward. So last year it was to promote to vice president sales leader, which we did in June. Woo! And this year it's, and I'm going to be vulnerable and just put this stuff out there with y'all because I think that's a good thing. And it's something I have disciplined myself to do. And it feels vulnerable, but I'm going to do it anyway because I'm convinced that that's how we get there. So my Norwex goal is to double my income. I want to start making $8,000 to $10,000 a month. Woo, all right, I said it out loud. I did it. So I actually, this process right here that I have neatly described here on this paper, I actually do on a big piece of paper. So I get a big piece of paper, I take it to a coffee shop, I draw a circle in the middle, and then I do this progression. Because here's what really helped me with my systems is when I realized that my systems support people, something cleared in my brain, like, oh, like, because I love people, I'm super wired by that, and our business really is all about that. So I drew this kind of around here. I created these circles that I thought through the people in my business. So of course we've got customers, we hope them, and you can see the arrows, we hope that our customers become our hostesses. Our hostesses become the people we recruit, and of course not exclusively, but in general. Our recruits become our new team members. Our new team members become veteran team members who then are also leaders. And people move through that progression in different places, or in different rates, I should say. But that's how I like to think about that. So this has served me at least as a way to think about what I do. So then I sit down and I just dump, right? And I will show you my thing here. So I just, I create that thing, and then I just, any and every idea I have, I just dump on there, right? And it doesn't matter. It's not a super, at this stage, the goal is to get it out of my head and onto paper. And I like this progression because it is sort of a system already, right? So, and sometimes things are going to connect, so I'll just draw lines or whatever it is. But for me, the brain dump is just, it's a way to decompress after conference because your head is swimming. I'll put down anything I want to, like the things I am doing, the things I want to do, the ideas I'm thinking about but I'm not committing to. This is not a commitment document. It's just a brainstorming document. So that is how I do that. So I'm actually going to go ahead and unmute you guys right now and check in and ask, so far, does that all make sense? And let me see how to unmute you. Hold on a second here. I don't know how to, I don't know how to unmute you.
We can unmute ourselves.
Please unmute yourself. If you have a comment or a question, can you go ahead and do that before we move forward? Anything you guys, maybe it's not rocket science here, but anything you want to ask, or are we good so far?
I think it makes perfect sense.
Good. But anyway, again, it's been a helpful framework for just that part of it. So after I do this brain dump idea, then what I have done is I have created for myself an annual plan. Now this is where I get nerdy. So anyway, I think the goal for systems is that you want, it has to help you feel good. And so my goal with any good system is to get myself to a place where it helps me to do what I am called to do without feeling bogged down. And so if you're feeling bogged down, then it means that you probably still need to fine tune the way you do that particular thing, right? So for example, I love doing parties, and I have thought through that whole, everything that goes around supporting the party, I have thought it through. So I have an assistant who comes in on Thursday, she gets my bags ready. I don't think about parties. I just pick up my bags, I go to the party, I do the party, I come home, and then I've got systems in place on the other side of it. So I don't get stressed out about doing parties because the systems are helping me do the thing that I want to do, right? And so that's why, as I talk through kind of what I do, if you hear me talk about my process and you kind of go, ugh, then it's not your system. You're going to have to think about a different system to do the things that you do. So that's just a caveat as I do this. So this annual plan thing, it's a lot of words on a page, but it helps me, again, get out of my head what I do in a way that helps me then to communicate with my assistant. And if you don't have an assistant already and are feeling like you're not managing everything in the way you want to, I would encourage you to pursue that because it is really helpful. So I start here with a quote. I love this quote. John O'Donohue, I don't even know really a lot about who he is, but he says, "May my mind come alive today to the invisible geography that invites me to new frontiers, to break the dead shell of yesterdays, to risk being disturbed and changed. May I have the courage today to live the life that I would love, to postpone my dream no longer, but do at last what I came here for and waste my heart on fear no more." Isn't that awesome? Yeah. Anyway, there we go. So I start with that. And then I have my vision and goals page. So it's not fancy. I just write, you know what, my goal is to make $8,000 to $10,000 a month. Y'all, I am nervous every time I say that. That's awesome. Good sign. And so then why? Why is that my goal? It's my goal because last year we promoted to VP, and that was a big goal that I was amazed that we achieved, and all of that. And I want to really grow into that promotion. So I put down some of my stats there just because, and I don't know that that's really brilliant, but my big goal is that. And then to get there, I also just listed that, you know what, I want to shoot for 10,000 in sales a month because I want to shoot for Norway. I don't know if I'll get Norway, but I'm going to shoot for it. I want to recruit 48 new team members this year. Holy cow, I've never done that, but that's my goal. And I want to promote 8 new team coordinators. So I kind of broke my goal down into those 3 things as kind of a way to get to that bigger goal. And then, you know, from there, I have sort of thought through what are my supporting systems. And I'm not going to go into the minutia of these yet. And actually, I'm happy to share this document with y'all later. But basically, on the left hand here, you're going to see those people that are in those circles that went around that larger circle: customers, hostesses, recruiting, new team members, team development, and leadership. And so what I do there is that's where I'm doing my sifting and sorting from that bigger document, and I'm deciding what am I really going to do this year. And so as an example, you know, and I'm a teacher. My background, I never actually taught in a classroom. My background is in education. So I put an objective for each one of these because this year that's new. I just thought that sounded kind of fun. So my objective is that my customers would shop with me in an ongoing way because I offer them top-notch support and care. Boom. Okay. So then I outline, here's my kind of process with them at the party, after the party, and then in an ongoing way. Do you guys want me to talk through each of these systems? Would that be helpful, or do you want me just to send it to you? You're all on silent.
Talk through it.
Talk through it. Tammy's unmuted, so we'll let Tammy call the shots here. So at the party, I give each of my customers a gift with purchase. Ashley Peoples talked about it in her webinar, but I give them this cute little bag, and in it there's a product quick guide, a magnet that has care instructions on it. I think Ashley has a good idea about, like, a lot of people don't remember how to use things. So I think I'm going to update that magnet when I run out of the ones I have that has an update on how to use them, like the household package at least. And then there's also an invitation into my VIP group in that bag. So I'm a gift giver, and that's why I do that. And so after I talk about the laundry products in my presentation, I hold up that bag and I say, hey, y'all, you don't even have to remember everything I just told you, because I want to let you know that when you make a purchase tonight, you're going to go home with this, and here's what's in it. So I only say that one time to everybody, but I like that you know, they hopefully feel special. They're getting that bag, and they can throw that magnet on their fridge or on their washing machine and be able to get in contact with me. I gift my people a laundry soap sample when they give me their cell phone number and email so I can follow up with them. And when they text, I have Scipio right now, and I'm probably jumping ship to Project Broadcast, but I have to figure that out. I haven't made that shift, but I do have a texting service. So when they text VIP to my phone number, then the next day they get a link for my VIP group, and I let them know that they can, they'll also be subscribed to any sales that I get. I try to, I don't have it come right away because I actually don't necessarily want them to know it's a texting service. So I tell them that night, look, if you text VIP to me, tomorrow I'll send you a text with a link to the VIP group if you want to get into it easily. So that's what I do at the party, pretty simple. And then after the party, and this is new for me, but within the first 2 days after the party, you know, we all know the 222. So I'm kind of nuancing that a bit, but I actually want to make a phone call. I've decided that my word for this year is connect. And I'm glad to have systems, but I'm realizing I want to feel more connected to my people. And so I'm going to make one phone call and just say, thanks for coming. I don't know if it was you, Ginny, or somebody that passed on to me that someone at conference said that that was actually the most important connection, is that 2-day thing, which I've not been great at doing at all. So just to call them and say, thanks for coming. And then in 2 weeks, I'm going to verbally tell them, you know, in 2 weeks, watch your email because I'm going to send you a free gift. And so someone somewhere created that list of like 100 uses for the EnviroCloth. And so I just send them, that is what I send them in 2 weeks, but free gift always gets people's attention. Right. And then at the 45-day mark, rather than the 60-day mark, rather than the 2-month mark, I do 45 days is I'll send them a text to check in and make sure. So I'm actually kind of modifying. So two days is a call, 2 weeks is an email, and 2 months or 45 days for me is a text. So I can set that all up when I close the party though. So it's not a big process because I can schedule all those things. So once I close the party, it's done and I know my people are taken care of. So there it is. And then in an ongoing way, you can see here that I have, I mean, obviously there's a customer newsletter. My VIP page is really the hub of supporting them. And this year, I'm wanting to go, I don't know if I'm going to do daily actually, but I'm going to do themed posts, right? 3 to 4 times a week. So, you know, tip Tuesday, whatever, inspiration Saturday, that kind of thing. And then the thing I've realized I've been letting sit is that I think my VIP group should be a monthly party for me. And as I'm shooting to hit that 10,000 in sales a month without adding lots more to my calendar, that's a goal. Is I want to do some sort of monthly event in there. So in August, it's going to be some kind of back to school thing. Last month, it was an online open house that I did. And so I'm still brainstorming what that will be, but that's in my plan. And then I also am launching a laundry auto ship program, hoping that that will be potentially, as I build it, that will add a second party to my month. These 2 things could be 2 parties in my month that I'm not doing, but they're just regular rhythms. So, okay, that's cool. Give me a thumbs up, making sense. Cool. Host coaching. Katie White should be talking about this. But my objective is my hostesses regularly have $1,000 parties because I attract and support excited and motivated people who share Norwex with others. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. But at the party, when they come, I give them another packet, or I give them a gift bag, and in the packet there's a host letter and checklist that I totally edited from Katie White. I include a guest list that I provide for them so they can jot out who's coming. I include the microfiber brochure because I think people, you know, they come to a party, they're completely blown away by how awesome Norwex is, and they go home and tell their families, look, we're not going to clean with chemicals anymore, and they think they drank something stranger than wine, right? Like what? So I want to give them that brochure because it gives them some science to be able to show to their spouse or whatever. And then I also tuck an opportunity brochure in there. New thing I'm trying, again, because I'm trying to increase my party sales, is I'm going to start offering anybody who hits a $1,000 party will get a naturally timeless serum from me, $59.99, but I'm going to use my shopping sprees wisely and give them that, because if I'm hitting more $1,000 parties a month, then that'll be amazing. So that is a new idea I'm trying. I give them a gift at the party. In the gift bag I get these little 5x7 organza bags, and I have my assistants cut these for me because I'm cheap. So I'll give them an Enviro, a window cloth, and a body cloth. And then I also have little containers where I make up a cleaning paste, and then I give them a stain remover. So I can tell them, look, if you book a party tonight, you're actually going to get 5 of our top 10 gifts, or our top 10 products to take home and try with you. They're all teaser size though, right? So that has been pretty awesome for me, I think. And I sell cleaning paste like crazy because they love it. And that little sample does a ton. At the party, when someone's booking, I give her everything, and I want to keep it simple. So I just say, look, I want you to go home and use these samples and post about it on Facebook, because people don't know what Norworks is. And so this will just help them learn about it, or they'll be intrigued by it. And then when you invite them, they'll be more excited to come. I want you to start working on your guest list. And then 3 weeks before your party, I will get in touch with you to start the party planning process. So that is what I do. And then after the party, I do a thank you note in the book in the mail. I have that right here. So this was an idea that I got from Amanda DeSonia. So I just read, it's cute, right? Thank you for being awesome. And then it's already got all the verbiage on the back that, just says, thanks for agreeing to host a show. I appreciate you and your business. Can't wait to stock your home with lots of freebies. I'll be in touch to help you party plan. And it's a confirmation card, right? So I just throw the date on there, pop that in the mail right away. And then if the party is more than 3 weeks out, then I'm working on I want to kind of get the connection going. And so that first week, I want to text them like, okay, did you get a chance to read through your host packet? Do you have any questions? What samples have you tried? What do you think? So I want to just sort of build connection and excitement. So that's something I'm trying to work on. Administratively, I've got my list of things that need to happen after I've come home and that person's booked. I have to put it in all my calendars, update it in my contact information. I'm a big Google girl, so I put it in Google and such. And then my task manager is GQs, and so I add it in GQs. And then I've just got my verbiage of the texts that I send, and they're not magical, but I will send them to you later. When I'm doing this planning process, I'll have like a to create section sometimes. So I'm still working on, I want to do theme parties. I think make things fun. And so I want to create a little booklet that I can hand around at my party. So if people want to choose a theme party, they can. Okay, cool. Is this good? Do you want me to keep going through this minutia? Is this helpful? Yes. Okay, we'll keep going. With recruiting, my objective, I easily add 4 personal team members a month and support my team with resources to do the same. So I'm offering an opportunity event on Facebook with my team twice a month now. We used to do them once a month. We're going to upgrade it to twice a month. And anything that's highlighted in yellow means I still have to create it. So those are my project list. So I want to do an opportunity interview call, a recorded call, in case someone doesn't want to get on live but just wants to listen to something, like a 15-minute thing. And I think that's a Steve Wiltshire idea that I gleaned when I did some of his stuff a while ago. But if you have freeconferencecall.com, I think you can create a dial-in. So someone just dials in and they can listen to the interview. So that is something I want to create as a tool for myself as well as for my team. And then I do have a recruiting packet that I give at parties with a letter, the starter kit contents, the opportunity brochure, and the fresh start guide. I'm thinking about just simplifying that and making it just the opportunity brochure, just because I'm thinking maybe that might be simpler for now. I'm all about minimizing things. Weekly, I'm working on scheduling a weekly time in my calendar during a power hours. I'm trying to bring power hours back to my life, where I follow up and reach out to the people who've expressed interest, who've taken a packet, and I also just realized that I need to proactively think about inviting people into this. So that is on my list. And this is something I have put a question mark by, but I'm thinking about offering, if someone signs up tonight, I have a gift for the recruit and the host. Thinking that the gift for the recruit would be maybe some catalogs and product quick guides, and then just whatever I have for the host. But thinking about bringing those 2 gifts and having them set up there. I don't know. We'll see. You can let me know if you think that's a good idea. New team members, my objective is to, new team members are warmly welcomed and effectively supported to have strong starts in their business. So I send people a welcome letter. My assistant comes in on Thursdays. She checks for all the new consultants, and they get an email from me that day, and then I mail a paper letter that is general, but it includes a bookmark. I do a cheesy thing in my letter that says, welcome to a new chapter of your life, but I'm bump. So they get this little bookmark, and I print them at Vistaprint. They're really cute. They're cheap. I send them a fresh start guide. I want them to see the fresh start guide. This was an idea from Jessica Roderick that I sort of modified. And has been helpful. And then I also send a who to contact magnet. Again, that's a Katie White idea, but I made it into a magnet that again, print at Vistaprint, but it basically just has head office, consultant care. It tells us, when meetings are, things like that. But it's a tool that I want to provide to help them become more independent and not always call their upline every single time, right? And they can have it right there on their fridge. I offer coaching for my personals and one-on-one, and then I do for my team. I've started doing, this has been really fun. I love Facebook Lives. They're great for me. And so I've started doing a weekly Facebook Live on Monday evenings at 8 o'clock that is focused on coaching new consultants. And so every time we're on that call, I am welcoming new people. Who's new? We want to know who's new, who's joined in the last week or so. We want to welcome you. We're so excited. Who has hit any level of their fresh start? Go ahead and tell us in the comments. And I have this from whenever I got it. I think maybe Senior Executive Sales Leader Academy. And we give ta-das, right? But we make that fun. And then I rotate through the content. We always check in about bookings and I keep hammering in their heads, if you don't have bookings, you don't have a business. So if you don't have bookings, don't think about anything else. That's all I want you to do. And then we rotate through kind of the process. And so last week we talked about bookings. This week we talked about kind of the party presentation. Next week we'll probably talk host coaching. So I'm just kind of rotating through the same topics. I will, with variation is kind of the plan for that. But what's cool is that it's not just new consultants. And I think the Facebook Live format, for me, it works, right? It's just, I've discovered it's a format that works well for me and my team. On my to-do list is to create a training video for those who add recruits. So we have people on our teams who bring people onto the team. And I want to better equip them to know, here's what's available for your new people. And here's what to do with them. So I want to do a little training video and then have my assistant text that out. So as she's looking at all the people who are recruiting, if it's someone who's new, who hasn't really recruited before, then they'll get that training video from me and a congratulations for, recruiting kind of thing. So that's new and not done yet, therefore not happening yet, but we're working on it. Team development, my objective is I create a team culture where people are supported, connected, and successful. I am not the only one supporting people. We have a culture of encouragement and resourcing of one another. So I don't want to be the only one. I don't want to be the rock star. I want everybody to help each other, and I see that happening. So I do meetings the third Tuesday of the month. I am starting to, this year I have local leaders, more local leaders than I've had ever before. And so I'm going to start having a quarterly leadership luncheon where they come and we kind of plot out a quarter's worth of topics. I want to just celebrate them and have them give input. It's a powerful leadership development principle for someone just to feel heard, right? So it's not even that I just want to be able to have that planning process together, and then sort of organically I will feel out like who's ready to take on various things to actually do the things too. So newsletters, I do a first of the month recognition newsletter, and that is all it is. People actually really like seeing their name. It's a big deal. And then I also post the link for the newsletter in the Facebook group in case they don't see their email. And then for my group, actually I'll put that in here because I didn't put that in there. For my group only, I want to start doing something that I learned from Chris Carlson at the Senior Executive Sales Leader Academy. But the third Thursday of the month, I just want to send a quick touch base email to my group. Hey, how's it going? Whatever, that kind of thing. Simple, 3 or 4 sentences, just letting them know I'm touching base with them. Recognition, in addition to the email, I'm going to have my assistant, I'm going to take time to sort of dictate a note. Amy Fulmer, I think, shared this idea at a thing that I did at a conference. So to, dictate notes and then have one of my assistants actually write it out and send postcards in the mail. It's a touch I've not been able to do before, but I want to add that this year. On my Facebook page, I want to start doing more regular scheduling of posts. This is not brand new for y'all, but like, you know, having themes for that and such. And I do a Friday happy hour. This was an accidental thing I stumbled into. One Friday afternoon, I just hopped on a Facebook Live to make some announcements, and there were like 10 people there. And I was like, whoa, I didn't even know people would be around. So I've made it a thing. And my thing about it is I say it's Friday happy hour. It's not an hour, but it is happy. And so it's usually 25, 30 minutes. And I started out by just saying, what went well this week in your business? Because I'm a big mindset girl, worked with Dana Wild in the past. So like, let's look at what is happening as we end this week and as we head into the weekend. And then I will just basically train on whatever I want to train on. I'm a pretty intuitive leader, actually, despite all of the minutia that we're walking through right now. And so it's just a space to do whatever I need to do. I'm wanting Felicia, actually, who is still here, to introduce me to the capacity to interview people. And so I want to do that during that Friday happy hour time. So between the Monday night coaching for my new consultants and the Friday happy hour, I'm not doing Facebook meetings because I'm not. I'm just doing the in-home one. Okay. And then this has been huge with my team, but we do a quarterly, this is not so much a Facebook page thing, actually should go. Anyway, we do a quarterly focus where every quarter we do a celebration month. This has been game-changing for my team, absolutely game-changing. So some people call them engagement months. You guys know about these, but we do them in September, December, March, and June. And I tell them, like, look, you know what, friends, every quarter we throw a party on this team where we celebrate the accomplishments, small and large, we make together. And when you engage in those months, you can win free things. And we kind of vary it.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you. Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
The internet went a little bit wonky for a second there. So anyway, let me pull up the chat here. Okay, cool. So yeah, I was just saying that the quarterly celebration months are a party we throw to celebrate our accomplishments, small and large, that we make. And so I vary those. I'm going to get to this in a second, but I do a monthly leaders call. And on that call, the month before, I'll just say, what do y'all think? Do you have any ideas for how to make this next month special? And that kind of thing. So we have a lot of fun with them. And they've created a real culture for our team, because the reason I love them is because it gives people a positive reason to reach out, right? And so to be able to say, hey, I want to reach out and wanted to make sure you knew that this was our celebration month, wanted to include you on the fun, feels a whole lot better than, for the love, can you please get a 250 order in so that we can pay a title? I don't like that, right? So, but it added to the quarterly focus of the celebration month now, what I'm playing with this year is that we do a celebration month. The next month, the emphasis is on getting bookings and sales. And then the next month is an emphasis on team building, recruiting. I like team building better than recruiting. So that's new, which means I'm not doing it yet, but it sounds smart to me. I like the idea of just that rhythm of focus, right? So 4 months out of the year, I'm giving a lot of focus to my casual people. 4 months, and then the 8 months out of the year, I'm focusing on moving the whole team forward with bookings and sales and team building. So I've actually sort of done some of this already. So every April is Earth Day. And so we've done an incentive where I have a friend who makes jewelry, actually, she made my bracelet, but I have her design a team necklace. This was this year's, actually, where everybody could choose a word and engrave their word on there. So it's really fun to have people share their words. Mine is, what is mine? Brave. Courage, actually, is what I chose. So, no, brave. Can't read. Yes. Anyway, but that has been really, really fun. So yes, I'm happy to come back and there's a question about the celebration month. I'm happy to give a little more detail about that. So I call it a celebration month. That's how I spin it, because that's what I'm doing. I've decided I'm celebrating that. And so that's what we do. And I just, I call it a quarterly party, and I build it into the culture. And so we do things differently each time. June was a celebration month and a promotion month. So I actually did 2 levels of raffles. But what I did in June was anybody who submitted by the 7th got a free gift. Now, I don't do that in a normal celebration month, but because I was promoting, I was throwing down everything, right? But you can do that kind of thing. So everybody got a black or charcoal kitchen cloth. And then I chose to do a raffle on the 5th, the 10th, the 20th, and the 25th. And then the last day of June, y'all, this was crazy. And this was, again, it was probably more that it was a promotion month. I don't think I will do this in a normal celebration month, but I did hourly raffles from noon until midnight because I knew we were going to be online all day anyway for promotion. And it was fun. It was fun because, again, my desire was to give people positive reasons to keep reaching out instead of like, because you know how it is, right? So that's what we did for the last one. I've done March Madness, where we do 10 days of raffles. Actually, that was the first March we did. This last March I did, aren't you lucky to have Norwex in your life? So we played with the leprechaun idea, and we did, I just said, you know what? There's a ton of gifts that are going to be given away this month, and we don't know when. The leprechaun is just going to show up whenever he wants to show up. And it was super cute and fun. And I mailed all of my leaders these ridiculous headbands from the dollar store that had like shamrocks and like, it was craziness. And then it was really fun. So I tried to get them involved and encourage them to post selfies with their shamrock ridiculousness on their head and such too. So, so that was part of what we did there. So I'm happy I can share all my celebration month stuff another time if that's helpful to you. But that gives you an idea at least of some of what we do. But I just keep talking about it. And as people join the team and they are indicating that they might be more casual, I say, that's awesome. We love our casual consultants and we try to make it super easy for you. So you're just going to want to plan to put in a 250 order every quarter or every other quarter at the very minimum. And then you never have to think about losing your status. So again, it's a service to them to do that. So anyway, we can come back to that later. But monthly career coffees, have any of you done these? I just ordered the brochures to see what they're like. I don't know. I'm not convinced yet about that. I'm not going to add any new structure, new monthly or weekly things, but I'm wondering if one of the happy hours a month, we focus on a career coffee. And it's just basically looking at the essentials, I think, is like a check-in of such. So that's a question mark for me. Anyway, so those are the things that support my team and the team culture. Leaders, objective. People are regularly promoting into leadership, and my leaders team is a dynamic place of learning, growth, and influencing things together. You'll see there's a lot of yellow here. So I want to start doing regular Who Wants to Be a Leader calls. I have not decided on the pace of that yet. I want to start doing regular TC clubs. I'm doing one in August, and I want to try them monthly for the fall and see. Right? Because I think I live in the tension of like, oh my gosh, we don't have enough people to do that. But also just trying to have the mindset of like, but we're growing. And so, I want to lead for where we're going and not where we are. So I will just see. Maybe that'll be every other month. Maybe it'll be monthly. But I really want to see people promoting. I do these monthly calls with my leaders. I love them. They're a highlight of my month. We do them on Zoom. We just happen to do them the second Friday of the month at 9 a.m. But my goal is to encourage and equip. I always start with like, what are you loving about leadership right now? I'll try to ask them a leadership-y kind of question. Like, let's go around and brag on one of our team members right now. So, or what is something that leadership has brought into your life in Norwex? So I try to ask a positive question, but it's leadership focused. And we do mindset sort of work on that, and that's part of it. And then I invite them to give input on meeting topics, on anything we're going to be doing, just input. And then new this year, I'm wanting, because Felicia has changed my life. Thank you, Felicia, with Facebook and Facebook Live. But I want to start inviting senior leaders to train, like just to do like a 15-minute power training on something, and then just rotate that. Because it's like this really cool privilege my monthly leaders get, is that they get to train with other senior leaders. So I'm going to take all of your names down, actually. And if any of you wanted to help train my people, and have like a topic that you're passionate about, let me know. But I want it to be leadershipy, right? You know, so I'm not so much wanting to do bookings training, although maybe bookings for leaders, like how do you balance your personal business? And, you know, that like, I want to have a leadership lens on that. So anyway, that's something new I thought of. And then not, you know, Facebook group posts. I have a leaders page, but I don't post very consistently on that. So I want to start doing kind of more, couple posts a week on that. And then a quarterly leadership lunch for my local people, which I told you. So I'm going to do those in the month following a celebration month to plan for the next quarter. So, all right, let me pause. Boom. I just dumped all of the systems that I have at you, and they're all evolving still. But any helpful, anything you have questions about? I mean, you guys are doing these things too, but I just found that it was helpful for me. Like I had these systems, but until I wrote them down and put them in place, I didn't realize I was as organized as I was. And it helped me to be more organized, because when I started putting it on paper, then with my assistant, who happens to be a dear friend who knows me well, we also could kind of sift it a little bit and be like, Carrie, that's dumb. You're not going to do, she doesn't call me dumb actually, but I mean, I could just realize like I would have these intentions or these things I thought I would do. And she would just call me on it and be like, you're never going to do that. You don't like this, and you're not going to do that. You need to do it this way because this is how you're wired. So it helps you to kind of assess fit for your system to actually write them all out and such. So, all
Carrie,
right.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you have a separate list like this for your assistant, or does she work off of this too?
She works off of this. And then I think, she has created her own job description as well. I don't know where it is, but I'm pretty sure she does. So as we sort of together are working on this, then she kind of creates her own kind of list of stuff for what she's actually responsible for. Because she's not responsible for everything on this page.
Right.
And I actually have just hired a second assistant, so we're dancing even more here a little bit, but it's awesome, right? And I haven't even shown my second assistant this page yet because I'm kind of easing her into some very focused things, but yeah. Any other questions?
Can I ask another question?
For sure.
For your new consultant mailings, when you send them that welcome mailing, how far in your group do you send that to?
Right now, so I just have my first red jacket on the team, which I'm excited about. And you know what? I'm making the break at red jacket. So I'm at this time. I may change that to ESL. But I kind of, like, the point of breakaway feels a little bit too soon for me, because sales leaders are stepping into things, right? But so for me, I think I'm going to say ESL moving forward. My particular ESL, so that, you know, for various reasons, you know, we sort of handed it off and then it didn't work. And so I just took it back for a season. But I think ESL is where I'm going to make that cut. Making that up as I go here, but yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask one more question? What service do you use for your emails to your team, your recognition emails?
MailChimp.
Okay.
Yeah, I learned MailChimp. I tried Constant Contact for a while because I was actually helping another senior leader before I was a senior leader with her newsletters, and I just didn't like it as much. And so, yeah, that's what I do. Yeah.
I have a question. So why, I have a Facebook team page, as we all do, right? Why do you also send emails? I mean, for recognition, for a newsletter, for whatever?
Because not everybody's on Facebook. So for the few people that are not on Facebook, that's one thing I can do that celebrates them. So, and yeah, I mean, I have had people who read them, but I mean, I'm not committed, 1,000% committed to that. That may be one of the things that goes at some point, but at this time, yeah, I do it for the handful of people that only have that. So.
Okay, and then my second question is, first of all, thank you, because I also feel like I have all of this in my brain, but even seeing it on your paper was super helpful. One area that I'm definitely struggling is helping my leaders promote. So I have 14 TCs, one just newly promoted Red Jacket, and one ESL on my team, and I feel like I don't know how to pour into them. So your monthly leader call was interesting to me. When did you start that? And do you run it by yourself? Do you run it with your Red Jacket? And how do you find content?
You know what? I have been doing it for a year and a half or so, and I kind of kicked myself. Once I started, I was like, why have I not been doing this always?
Right.
But whatever. I also think we have to have grace for ourselves because we can't. Sometimes everything I've shared with you has been built. Do you know what I mean? I didn't like sit down one day and like do all of it, right? So we build things and we add things in when there's time. And once you have a good system in place, that actually then you're not taking. It's not taking as much energy, so then you can add in other things, right? So it gets built. But yeah, I think that's a place where we cast a lot of leadership vision, and I don't claim to be an expert about promotion, even though we just promoted, but that's a learning curve for me too, Andrea. And what I would say though is I think that number one, promoting was huge. So I'm hearing from my people. We went through this big promotion in June, and now I'm hearing my people say, "Oh, I could see how I could go for ESL in December or whatever." So I think that our team celebration months have, because realistically, those team celebration months are about casual consultants, but they're also about promoting people. So they organically help people promote as we're focusing on serving our casual consultants and including them in the fun, right?
Right.
And so the other tool I'm leaning into I do advertise Sheila Hercules calls. And one of the things I've started doing is I actually will create an event within my Facebook group and provide the information for Sheila's calls. So that it's sort of people catch it a little bit more that way. So I'm starting this year now to experiment with doing more TC clubs myself, working with Yolanda Buse, who's our RSM out here, to do that this month. But I lean into what Sheila's doing, with Sales Leader and now ESL. So I would, use those tools too, I think.
Gotcha. Thanks.
Sure. Okay, so I don't want to keep you guys forever, but let me show you kind of where I go from there. So I have, do I show you this or not? Okay, I'm playing with this. So just real quickly, I don't know. This is sort of harkens back to when I was a job or when I was doing campus ministry, but I'm playing around with, I'm wanting to sort of do more big thinking for each quarter. And so this is just, I dumped a lot of the stuff from what I'm doing in here so that I can kind of have a okay, here it is. It's August. Here, what's on my job description this month, really? So I don't know if this is brilliant or extra yet, but just so you know, that's there. And I'm not going to belabor that. But the other thing I want to show you is the time blocking thing, because that's actually how this all kind of got started, is Erin asked about the time blocking. So here is what I have. So I need to do slightly different color here for this, but so this is my time blocking, and you know what, this works for some people and not for everybody, but this has been what has saved my behind for years. We do not live in a job that provides boundaries for us, and so we can work 24/7 and never be done. And that will burn us out really, really fast. And so we actually have to create those boundaries for ourselves. And so I think that the indicator, the thing you want to pay attention to is, how am I feeling? Am I thriving? Am I doing well? Am I not? And then you create a template that supports what you know you need. And so this is my new template. And now y'all are going to be my accountability, because I'm saying on here that I'm going to get up and go for a walk every day, y'all. So there it is. I'm not currently doing that, but this is not a hard thing to do. 6:30 is not crazy time to get up. I can do that. So that's my fall schedule, is I'm going to just go for a quick walk in the morning, come home, make breakfast for the kids, do a little bit of housework. You know what? If you do one thing every day, it doesn't take that much, really. Like, it's like anything in our business, right? If you think about it forever, it feels really hard. If you just do the thing, it's not a big deal. So that's what I'm trying to do with my housework. We are homeschooling family. So CC here all day long. We are gone at our homeschool community day. And then the afternoons each day, I am teaching my kiddos. My husband teaches the other slot. So he does mornings and he does all day Friday, which works out really nicely for us. And so the purple stuff, or pink purple stuff here, is sort of personal development, self-care stuff. So when I don't have our homeschool day, we'll spend an hour or so getting ready for the day. I'll do some meditation and prayer, that sort of thing, to kind of get my stuff started. And then my goal is to start my day. I got to change this. Realistically, I cannot get in my office before 9:30. And so here I am being optimistic, thinking it's going to be 9. It's not. It's going to be 9:30. And so I'm going to start my office days, with the exception of Thursday, with the power hour, right? Y'all know about that, right? So income producing things, hostess coaching, customer follow-up, all that stuff. That's going to be how I'm committing to that. And in committing to that, I'm not opening Facebook. I am not looking at email. Like, I'm not doing any of those things. I'm sitting down. I'm starting with that. And that's just, that continues to be a growth edge for me, but like not having Facebook open, like the hours that will give me in my week, right? So we cannot multitask. None of us can. It's a myth. And so I just want to create more focus for myself. And I think I'm going to feel better when I do that, right? So that's how I'm starting my those days. Thursdays I'm not, because that's the day that my friend Kristen comes in and we knock out all the admin. And so I do all of my administrative stuff there with her. And then Donna comes on Tuesdays. You can see it here. So Donna comes and she does all of my party entry, and she's also going to be in charge of making sure all of my samples and packets are current. Kristen does the back end of all of the paperwork when I submit the party and tracking my finances and those kinds of things. She's more my finance person, and I've worked with her longer, so there's some other things that we do together. So what this means is that as I am scheduling if I'm putting things in my task list, and I can show you my task list in a second, but I always, you have to put a date on the task or else you never do it, right? But I know in my head, admin things are Thursdays. So I will always schedule those things on a Thursday. So then on a Thursday, I pull up my what's due today list, and that's what I know I need to do. So I want to avoid having to make that decision every morning. Like when I sit down, like, okay, what do I need to do today? I want to already know what I need to do. Does that make sense to you guys? Okay. During the time that Donna's here doing party entry, I want to start working on, I have a blog that I've never used, right? So I want to write one blog entry, and I put down social media there too. Wednesday mornings, personal development and projects. So that's all that yellow stuff that I have highlighted that I've not done. I want to be able to give myself 2 hours to knock those things out on Wednesdays. Wednesdays are also my day where I can wear yoga pants all day because I'm not going to see anybody. I found that to help me when I was doing college ministry too, right? So there's one day a week where I'm not seeing anybody at all. So we have our friends who come over for a book group that night, but I don't have to be fancy for them, right? So that's my that day is really nice for that. Afternoons, I've scheduled in a 30-minute time where I'm gonna crank out the Facebook and the email, work-related stuff, right? So respond to all the emails, the texts. Actually, we include text too, but I'm gonna try to do that. And I probably realistically would need to do that one other slot during the day. But if I'm working on my personal development projects, I'm not gonna respond to emails or texts or Facebook. I'm going to la, 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 right? That time, people can wait 4 hours, right? I don't have to be, I'm not, my phone and my texting service and my Facebook are for me to be successful. They're not for me to be at people's beck and call. So that is huge, is deciding not to be at people's beck and call, right? So that's how I'm doing that. Fridays are my team day, where I do coaching calls with people or just things focused on my team and such. So again, that's nice for me, because then on the other days of the week, I'm not worried about my people, because I already know that Friday is my day to sort of get with them, right? So that's when I'm going to schedule my coaching calls. Now, occasionally someone really truly can't do a Friday, and so I will flex some, but in general, I try to keep them all on Fridays and such. So I'm trying to do 4 parties a week, 2 in-home and 2 Facebook. So I may play with this, but you can see here on Sunday nights, I've got Facebook parties scheduled. So 1 at 7 and 1 at 8. I do Facebook Live at this point. And that's what I'm doing. And then when I do my in-home parties will vary, but I put Friday night and Saturday morning at this time. So I may do a Tuesday or a Thursday, but we'll see. And then Monday nights, my kids have Cub Scouts. So that's a good window for me to do some work. So again, I'm going to do another power hour because I can't do one earlier in the day that day. And then I put team there because that's when I do my Facebook new consultant coaching. And that'll also be the window when I do opportunity events for my team twice a month. And I may very much hand that off to leaders to help with here at some point, but we're still kind of getting them established. So for now, it's on my plate. Is this helpful? Is it overwhelming? Questions? How many of you are doing this already? Are you guys doing this?
I like your schedule.
Cool.
Yeah, you know, I'm a young leader, so not that I'm young in age, but I'm new at this, and yeah, I don't have any kids. I'm older, so they're all grown, so that makes it easy. But yeah, you do need to be. I mean, and I'm with Belinda Ellsworth in the Power Hour. Not that I implement it though, but at some point here, so hearing your advice, your tips, your structure, the structure is awesome. And like you said, to get up and already know what you need to do.
Yeah, it saves time because I think we all feel like we don't have time, but it's really more the stress that's informing our thinking than anything.
Yeah.
But I think taking the time to create a plan, and you know what, I treat myself to like a whole morning at Starbucks to work on some of this. And this year, you know, it's probably been a couple mornings to get it, slots to get this kind of up and running this year. But once you get it going, then you tweak it each time. It's not like you're creating it all the time. But it just really does make a difference to be efficient with your time and to not have to feel like you're working 24/7. And so with this, it means maintaining those boundaries. So like if my people, I will decide how I feel about this, but like when I'm with my kids and I'm homeschooling, someone can text me and I won't look at it, y'all. So that's part of the discipline here, right? So my team can text me on a Tuesday afternoon and they will not get me. Like I create that boundary. Like that is a zone, that is my time. I'm with my kids, I'm homeschooling. Now I have not been good about that. Sometimes I will get caught up in the like, oh, but I have to respond. But that's why my word this year is connect. I want to connect. And I want to be present, right? So when I'm homeschooling, that is what I'm doing. And I'm going to give my kids the gift of that focus. And I'm not going to respond to people's texts. And that's why I've got those other slots in there, right? We sell cleaning cloths, right? It's not that urgent. Life will go on. So I think too, I know other people come at their time differently, but this has been what has helped me. And so I know other people, what they'll do is they'll make a list and say, these are the things I know I need to do in a given week. And they'll just do, like when they have time, then they'll do them and they'll check them off, right? So the other quick piece I'll just mention, and then I know we should wrap up because it's been a full hour here, but all of those things that are in my plan that are like the regular tasks and stuff like that, I put into my task manager and then I set dates, right? So for example, the first Thursday of the month is always when I will do my recognition email. Second Thursday of the month is when I'm doing finance stuff, that kind of thing. So I actually have that all inputted into my to-do list, and then I can set it as a recurring task. So then when I check it off, it automatically is going to set it for next month. And so that helps me not have to hold a lot of that in my brain. So there's a lot of good task managers out there. I like GQs, and let me show it to you really quick here. Where is it? Calendar. Oh, it's not open right now. Here we go. Let's try this again. But I really have found it to be helpful in terms of doing the things I need to do. And so this is what it looks like. So what's cool about it is, you can click on due today. It says there's nothing due. It's not true. It's just that I haven't updated it recently. So, because look at my overdue list. Here it comes. It's taking a long time, right? All of my overdue things. So I need to go in here and clean this up. But once I get it running, what's cool is, I can create all these categories, right? So I've got my host coaching list, right? So there's all my parties. Again, it's not completely updated. But I set dates on what I need to do next so that then when it's time, when I'm doing a powered hour, I'll just click on do today and I'll see the things I need to do that day in terms of my power hour with hostess coaching or whatever it may be. So anyway, okay, super cool. All right, any other last questions? Otherwise, I think that's kind of the gist of what I have for today. This has been fun.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely my pleasure, friends. So I really, I love our company. I love that we are generous and learn from one another and share and all of that. So yeah, so thanks for letting me share. And if you have thoughts about anything that's been particularly helpful, send me a PM because I'd love to know. I'm keep trying to tweak it so that it's not overwhelming for people. But I think at the senior level, you know, it's still not rocket science what we do, but there's just things that we're handling. And so having a system that helps us do that is helpful. And this is what's working for me right now. So there it is. Yay! Okay, friends.
You're good at it, and you're a great teacher.
Yay! I'm glad it's helpful, Tammy. It's good to meet you all. And yeah, I wish you guys a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.